Howdy ho, good neighbors. Howdy ho, good neighbors. What's going on? It's Phil Russert. Sorry, the mic was off. Hope you're having a good week so far. Just started. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a happy new year, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So, a couple of things to go over today. Originally, I was going to be doing a live stream with two other people to talk about the Spawn contest. And I'm actually going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about a few controversial things today because I'm feeling a little ornery. Why am I ornery? Not because of my rejection per se from Diamond. Um, when I first got the rejection today, I was disappointed. I wasn't angry, but I'm getting a lot of messages now um, about how Diamond is accepting, single titles and this and that, and it made me wonder why would they reject mine. I had a good marketing plan which was established in my submission, working with big names, etc. So I don't know. Either just, but the thing is, they don't lie to you. They're not going to tell you if they think the art's not good. They're going to tell you if they think it's not marketable. They're going to tell you. So it's not like they would spare my feelings and lie to me and make an excuse. So it makes me wonder what the reason is. And I don't know. Maybe losing all the companies that they did. Sorry, I'm shutting something off. Maybe they're just not accepting new submissions because they're not doing well, and they're not going to admit that. I don't know. I don't really know. What is cool, and that's my little segue, is the possibility that Bleeding Cool might be doing an article on this. As they mentioned and offered, Richard Johnston, who is in the UK, who does the articles for Bleeding Cool, he saw the post and he was on there and he mentioned, he asked me if I'd like him to blow this up a bit, and he'd do an article about it. So if Bleeding Cool, that's Richard Johnston, would do an article, that would be cool. I would hope that they would give me a little publicity in the article if they do, but I don't have control over that either way. Someone else had mentioned, go to LinkedIn and go to the owner of what do you call it, of Diamond. I don't remember his name. Steve Stoughton, and say something. But look, I'm not going to go over their heads and complain to the boss and say blah blah blah. It's not my style. And if they don't want me, they don't want me. So I'm not really sure because again, I've got ratio variants from big names like Bill Sienkiewicz, Chris Pachalo, and David Mack, and Will Spatasio, and Tyler Kirkham, and yada yada yada. Hey Larry, I knew you'd say that. But any publicity for me is good publicity. We're not all superstars like the great Larry Stroman. Anyway, I've formulated a good market plan. Plus, I know all the comic store owners, being that I run conventions here, and many of them I've spoken to already, and we're ready to order the books, and they were going to order the variants, and a lot of online retailers are going to do it, and some out-of-state stores were already on board. So I had formulated a good marketing plan as I've been working this out. So I don't think it's the marketing plan that was an issue. It's obviously not the talent. The book is beautiful. Ricardo did a great job. We've got people on board, like I said, that are legends and pros. So it just seemed very odd to me. Again, I wasn't upset. I was just disappointed because, I'm kind of tired of everything having to be the hard way for myself. But it is what it is. I'm not the first person to get rejected, and people have it tough. So that was no big deal. But now that I'm getting all these messages that, what they said is weird because a lot of single title are getting accepted, maybe they just, I don't know, maybe it's just too much at this point for them. Maybe they're not doing, they're going out of business or something we don't know about, and they just don't want to tell me that. I don't know. But anyway, the show must go on, as Freddie Mercury had said, and it will go on. Here's the thing, and this is not meant to piss off people, because there are people in this industry that I like. I think the good people, but this is going to kind of call out their business practice. I'm not doing tits. I'm not. Tragedy is not popping out her tits. And right now, Kickstarter to me is like being a hamster on a wheel. And I'm sorry, it is. Because unless you're a big name that was established in distribution in the 90s, you're not doing well on Kickstarter, or at least you're not doing well enough. $2,000 to $5,000, that's not cutting it. Not if you want to be a real publisher. It's not. And the people that are doing 10, 20, 30,000, they're they're popping tits out, and some of them are doing downright porn. I mean, it's fucking porn. It's cartoon porn, and I don't understand the love for it. And there he is, Mike Wheeler, one of the people I like that unfortunately is probably not going to like my message. Do I knock people for putting the tits and stuff out there? I don't, because if you have a target audience, you're going to appeal to your target audience and you're going to be successful. Mike Wheeler and his wife do successful campaigns. But the problem is, those are the only ones that really do well at this point. It's not like readers are coming to campaigns. Readers aren't. Collectors are coming here. They want, graded books. They want books they think are going to have value someday. That rare 25 run book cover, or the really nice cheesecake, as Kenny's saying, cover. It's not cheesecake. Half it's fucking porn. Let's just call it what it is, man. It's cartoon porn. All right. And I like the real thing personally, but all right, you like cartoon porn. But what about the books that actually tell stories? Does anybody give a shit about that anymore? Because on Kickstarter, they don't. I know a lot of people that are writing really good books, and they're not getting the love, and they're not getting they're not getting the love, and they're not getting the attention. They don't even get the respect. And it is frustrating. And if I sound bitter, yeah, I am. I'm bitter because I bust my fucking ass. I work hard. I work harder than most, and I'm maintaining that I'm not going to sell out. I'm not. And when I say sell out, I'm not saying you're a sellout if you do booby books. I'd be a sellout if I started doing them now, because that's not what I established tragedy to be. If she was a booby book from the start, that's one thing. But if I turn tragedy into a booby book now, I'm a sellout. Straight up. Yeah, I think I want there to be room for both, Mike. That's my point. I'm not against people doing booby books. I'm bitter with the fan base that they won't support good stories, but they're going to throw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars at booby books. It's frustrating. It really is. And not just for me, for a lot of people. I mean, Carissa Grant works very hard. She's on like 50,000 shows. She's promoting. She has book after book after book. Rabbit's Badass Song from Christopher Elston, who's Elston Christopher on Facebook. Great story, great book. No traction. He had to resort to other stuff to try to make some money, And it's just like people. And I'm just gonna be honest. I got people that tell me, "Oh man, I wish I could support tragedy. It looks so good." Blah 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 blah. And they'll take a free PDF, but they won't ever back a campaign. And then I see them on some big names group like Rob Liefeld or somebody, and they're buying everything that he puts out, every cover. They're buying 5 issues. Just be honest. Don't tell me that you just don't have the money. Say you're not interested because it's not big. You like to follow big names. That's what you're interested in. You're not into good stories. You're into celebrity, and that's what most people are. And it does get frustrating. We'll see. I think there's room for both, and I also think people like you are going about it 100% wrong. Quantity of people should be your target, not quantity of dollars. You're right, and that's why I went for distribution, and Diamond turned me away with a reason that just seems very odd to me. I don't know if you saw my post, Mike, but I was going to distribution, not about making the dollars. I want to reach readership. He puts it. Hey, Nicholas, that's the thing, Mike. I'm not against what you're saying. That's why I don't want to do Kickstarter anymore. I don't want to make $10,000 on a Kickstarter and I'm only reaching 300 people, and then I'm only reaching the same 300 people each time. I want to go to distribution, get across the country, maybe even other countries, international, and grow my readership base. And I was all prepared to lose money in the beginning and have to weather the storm to grow over the next year or so or two. I'm not a fool. I'm 51 years old. It's hard. Distribution's hard. And with Diamond taking 60%, it's a bitch, man. And that was the plan. Dude, I am doing it myself, but without Distribution Hub getting me an LCS, it's very difficult. How do I keep track of all the orders? How do I mail out all these orders? I have a full-time job. I work 8 to 12 hours a day. I work 7 days a week. I have a wife, kids, my mother, a house. I mean, it's amazing. I get 3 hours of sleep now as it is. I went totally gray because I'm trying to make this work. I used to be a redhead only about 4 or 5 years ago. 4 years ago, just so you know. I went gray in 3 months. So, and I thought about going 100% digital, but a lot of people don't want digital. They like physical books, and a lot of my backers don't want digital. They don't. They don't. There's no easy solution to this, and it's easy to say, Mike. No offense, but I'm going to challenge you right now, Mike, and I mean it out of respect and friendly, because I like you and all. Put out a book that doesn't have any tits on it, a superhero book without any tits. Put it out there, and I bet you it doesn't do as well as your boobs. It won't. Won't. It won't. Digital is not the answer because most readers are classic collectors. They like a physical copy. They do. The problem is Kickstarter has become a collector's market. It is not a reader's market for comic books. I mean, if you look at what really does well on Kickstarter, it's tabletop games, it's fan fiction, it's movies that are trying to be produced, it's Dungeons and Dragons and RPGs, interactive games, collectible things, action figures, etc. But when it comes to the comic niche, what sells in the comic niche is tits, period, and ass, period. Absolutely. And there's no denying that. And like I said, I don't begrudge anybody who makes money on that. I don't. If you're doing an honest day's work, you're putting in the effort. Mike, you still got to edit. You still got to pay artists. You still got to do what you got to do. You're still producing that book. I have respect for that. But I get frustrated that the fans will tell me they don't have money to pick up a good, well-written book, but they'll spend $300 on that forced 1 in 25, cover that shows a Princess Leia cosplay half naked. I'm sorry and then don't tell me that. Don't brag about your success when you're doing that, because it's gimmick shit. It's gimmick shit. And like I said, I wasn't angry when Diamond rejected my submission. I got angry after I got all these messages about they were accepting. I've seen some of the stuff they have accepted, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but there are some books that are just not, they're not at the level they should be to be in distribution. And maybe you'll look at mine and feel the same way, and that's fair enough. You're welcome to it. This, give you an example. This is mine. All right. This is Tragedy. Chris Bachalo cover. David Mack. Bill Sienkiewicz with Alex Sinclair colors. Say what you want. The design is badass. Say what you want. I'm working with the best that indie artists in the industry, and I'm working with some legends in the industry. So you can say what you want. I got a manga. There's the Ava Schrager manga. And then I've got a manga, of course, the main cover by Kenny Calderon. Whoops. And Kenny did the manga, looks fantastic. I mean, this is a professional looking book. My books look professional. This is Diary of Dread. Look at the size of that book. Look at that. Horror book. I mean, I've got Chuck Dixon, Peter David, and Howard Mackey saying I can write. And I can't. And what? I was at 13,000 with Tragedy issue 2. And then the economy kind of took a hit, things like that. And then I'm doing $8,000 to $9,000 campaigns. The Kickstarter campaign for the trade paperback did $10,340 something. So it's not like I'm doing bad. Okay, so don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm a guy who does $1,000, $2,000 and I'm crying that nobody likes my shit. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying that the market, the industry right now is not geared for quality new stories. It's let's recycle the same old Batman shit. Let's recycle the same old Superman and Wolverine, or let's ruin the characters by writing some crap, and people will just throw their money at that. Or they'll throw their money at boobs and cartoon porn. And don't get me wrong, like Mike Wheeler doesn't do porn. He just does cheesecake pinups, little cleavage, some ass. Sometimes there's boobs. But there are some books that, my God, they are porn. They're hustler, animated hustler. That's all they are. And they're making 30 grand. I don't know what the people buying that shit are doing with those books. I don't want to blacklight those books. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Again, I wasn't frustrated when they rejected me. It's when I got a flood of messages about how it was odd because they've seen people get accepted with lesser books, lesser art, lesser writing, no big names, and they were only one individual title. So that's when I got a little perturbed. And I'm always honest with my feelings. I'm a little bitter. Yes, I am. And if that turns you off, well, fuck you. I don't care. Because the truth of the matter is, I work harder than most people I know. I bust my ass. I work 21 hours a fucking day, 7 days a week to put out good books. And I struggle like everybody else. And I pay on time, and I'm honest with people, and I give everybody a fair share, and I don't screw anybody over. Despite what you might think from a few haters, I've never screwed anybody over, you know? And I work very hard. And I'm 51 years old, and I've been paying my dues for 51 fucking years, and I'm tired. So it's real simple. I'm going to turn this into something productive now that I've bitched and moaned and got it off my chest. And I want to show everybody some books that are coming up. Why did I start with the bitch rant? Because you'll tune in for that, but you won't tune in if I show you all the Philbo publishing. The second I stop ranting and I start showing these books I'm going to put, the people in this room are going to drop to about 6. And that's another frustration I have. You will sit there and listen to somebody talk about graded books for fucking 3 hours, or talk about some celebrity, or you'll spend time on podcasts talking about stuff, rambling on, but you won't take 15 minutes to give a good look at somebody's book like Ray Marek III, or what Kenny Calderon is doing, or A Kid in a Comic by John Jay. It's just it frustrates me. It's like, do people want quality stuff anymore, or do you want to keep throwing your dollars at shit? Because I'm going to tell you right now, these covers you're buying, these NFW covers you're buying that you think are going to be worth something someday, aren't going to be worth shit. They're not going to be worth anything. You can't resell them for shit. You're not going to. They're a nice little porn comic up on your wall. If you like looking at naked women, that's fine. Me personally, if you're gonna do a cheesecake, I kind of like the what's his name? Oh my god, I'm losing it. Like they did the old Betty Davis, or they did Wonder Woman in the old like 50s or 40s kind of style. Somebody help me here. That's kind of cool, because it's classy. But just sticking cartoon tits out, I mean, if that's what you want to spend your money on, go for it. But why not just give a good, solid story a chance? And it doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody. It's the same with artists, right? Kenny Calderon is a phenomenal artist. Kenny Calderon can draw a manga style, detailed pencils, you name it. I mean, this is what this dude can put out there in a manga comic, right? But you don't know Kenny. But big name artists that can't draw for shit, right? You'll spend $300 or $400 on a 2-inch by 2-inch Frank Miller piece that looks like a 6-year-old phoned it in. Now, don't get me wrong. Frank Miller is a legend in the industry, and he's done some amazing things. I'm not shitting on Frank Miller. I'm shitting on a 2x2, not well-drawn piece for $400. That's what I'm shitting on. And some people defend him and say, well, he's Frank Miller. He earned that. Okay. You're saying Kenny didn't earn it just because he didn't get his big break in Marvel and DC? I'm sorry. I don't buy that. I don't buy that Kenny is not worth the same salt that Frank Miller is just because he didn't get his big break. Because you know what? If Frank Miller was out now, maybe he wouldn't get a big break because there's so much competition and there's so many people out there. Who knows? The only difference between certain talented artists like Rob Rettiano or Chris Mad and big names is they got their lucky break. And some of these guys busted their ass and got their lucky break and they earned it. And some of them fell into shit. And good for you either way. I don't care. I'm not hating on that. I'm talking about the fan mentality. The fan mentality is if there's a big name on it, it must be something, even if it's nothing. And they'll keep collecting it just because a fan name's on it. Or they'll buy a shitty piece of art just because it's from a big name. But they won't invest the time in a Kenny Calderon. I don't know. It's tough because the fans are the ones killing the industry more than anything. We can complain about Marvel and DC putting out shit, but who's still buying it? We can complain about comics readership down. But you know what? It doesn't have to be down. You could be buying really good books to read in the indie market, but you don't want to. You guys want to buy tit books. I mean, why don't you just go buy a Hustler? At least it's real women you can look at and doink yourself to. I don't get it. Does anybody look at these stories? I don't get it. Anyway, so I'm going to show you we have a shit ton of stuff coming out from Filbo Publishing this year, and I challenge you to stick around and look at it. Or you're going to be part of the problem and just turn a blind eye, not even look and see if it's a book worth it because it doesn't have tits. That's your choice. And I'm not trying to force anybody to do anything, but if you want quality entertainment, stop settling for shit. If you want quality entertainment, start supporting it with your money. Because this is gonna sound fucked up, but I'm tired of all the, yeah, man, you're doing great with Tragedy and Filbo. I'm with you all the way. And you never once back the goddamn book. But if I offer you a free PDF, you take it in seconds. And then you come back to me, tell me how great the story was, but you don't back issue 2, 3, 4, the trade paperback. And then you give me an excuse, I don't have the money. And then I watch you buying other people's stuff. Just be honest. If it's not your thing or you don't like it or it's not interesting, just be honest. Don't bullshit. I hate bullshit. Just be honest. Be honest. And if you do like it, but you just don't want to throw your money at it, but if I make it big, then all of a sudden everybody's going to be throwing their money at it, right? It's all about recognition. It's all about name. It's all about brand, right? It's not about quality or anything. It's all about name. I mean, we're paying astronomical art prices now. I can't even do this anymore because artists that I'm cool with, that I know that, I never asked for a break and I never will, were charging me reasonable prices for a 3 or 4 inch size character. Now want to charge me $1,000 for a 3 inch character. And then they're defended by people. Well, that's so-and-so, that's why. And people are buying. Well, maybe we shouldn't buy it. Consumerism dictates the market. Yeah, Jim O'Reilly, actually, you were one of the people I was going to name before your name slipped my mind. Consumerism drives the market. If you don't want to pay $600 for a PlayStation 5, stop lining up at midnight when it comes out. Don't buy it. And 4 months later, watch that shit go down to $300. I mean, use your head, people. We can dictate prices. Hey, O'Reilly. Everybody that buys my stuff tells me the writing is good and the art is quality and they enjoy the stories. Ray Marek just said he loved Diary of Dread. Thank you, Ray. Ray has his channel, The Horror Syndicate, and Ray reviewed it and he really enjoyed it. And I'm getting great reviews on this. You wouldn't know because you didn't back it. So how would you know? But if this went to distribution, even if I'm losing money in the beginning, at least it's getting out to more people. Because you know what? 300 people on a Kickstarter may sound like a great number, but the truth is there's no growth there. There's no growth. Unless you're, and if you look at the people that are successful in Kickstarter, the big names that do the $400,000 campaigns, they've been doing it for 30 years, and they started in distribution. They built a fan base being in distribution, not the other way around, right? They didn't start on Kickstarter. They came to Kickstarter after they had already established some celebrity, some stardom. Billy Tucci is a friend of mine. He's a great guy. He's one of the greatest people in the industry. He's a hell of a nice guy, right? Well, Billy started in distribution with She, a single issue that Diamond picked up, by the way. And he'll tell you he caught lightning in a bottle, and Billy sold a shit ton of copies. She, great book, great character. Billy's a great guy, great artist, great writer, deserves it. And he built it there. And after he built it there, now he's successful on Kickstarter. But if Billy had never been in distribution and just put out She today without popping out tits, who knows what he would be doing? Who knows? Who knows? So the structure in the industry is not conducive to new ideas, fresh ideas, or quality entertainment. It's let's recycle and regurgitate and shove garbage down people's throats to the point where they get so used to garbage that they don't know the difference between good stuff and bad stuff anymore. Or they don't care. I mean, you'll sit there and you'll spend days shitting on Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. I mean, you didn't even like the movie, but you're spending all this time giving it publicity. But God forbid you give publicity to a good book from a struggling creator, from someone who's busting his ass 21 fucking hours a day. God forbid he get any press. But you'll sit there and give days and days of press. Look at the Spawn contest. I have nothing against the Spawn contest. I ran a contest like that. I got shit for running the contest. I got people coming in my DMs telling me, and I was paying for the covers, and whoever didn't win the contest was getting they were getting a cover set, trade and virgin of their cover, one printed, which cost me money, plus shipping on me, just for joining the contest. And I got shit on because I wasn't paying enough at $200 a cover, because, I'm rolling in fucking dough as a publisher, So what Todd McFarlane is doing is brilliant marketing. It's smart. It's what he's always been, a great businessman, right? So I don't shit on him. There's nothing wrong with that. Do your thing. But don't shit on the little guy for doing it when you're going to praise and kiss his ass because he's big. That's what I get annoyed at. I get tired of celebrity sycophants. I get tired of people kissing ass. They go nuts defending anybody who said that they didn't think that the contest was fair because Todd is the one who can afford to pay an artist. And you're shitting on little guys that can't afford them. And you defend Todd, but it's fuck the little guy. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you're all full of shit. You just want to suck up to a big name in hopes to get a job with them. That's why. And if I ever became a big name, you'd be defending me and sucking up to me too. But I'm a nobody, so fuck Phil. And that's the truth. That's the truth nobody wants to talk about. That's the truth everybody's afraid is going to, push people away. I don't care. I put out quality books. I don't put out books for you to like me. I put out books for you to escape this shitty-ass world and entertain yourself. That's it. I don't have any agenda in my books. It's not a soapbox. It's not a pulpit. It's not a megaphone. You don't know what my thoughts are on politics or socioeconomics or socio-political agenda. You don't know what I think, because who gives a shit what I think? You want to be entertained by me. That's it. And that's what I look to do. Yep, it's the Spawn brand that everyone's chasing. Yet some of those people say never work for. Yeah, again, I have nothing against what Todd's doing at all. And it's brilliant. And I have nothing against anybody who joins the contest or doesn't. I have no stake in this game. But I don't like the hypocrisy or how we're treated. I get it. You're going to say it's not a level playing field. Todd is going to get treated better than me because I'm a nobody. I'm just not for that. I'm not into celebrity shit. Nobody's better than anybody. Todd got a big break. And he made the best of it. And he busted his ass and he built an empire. And he earned everything he got. But the only difference between a guy like Todd and me is he finally got the fruits of his labor, where I'm still busting my ass just as hard as he did, maybe more. And I just haven't gotten the fruits of those labors yet. That's the only difference. He puts his shoes on 1 foot at a time like everybody else. But I've seen celebrities, I won't name who, that screwed me over. And they all came to his defense and fucking ripped me apart when he was absolutely wrong for being a no-call, no-show at my show and cost me $1,000 on hotel and tables, etc. And he got praised when he blasted me for no reason. It was unwarranted, and I got shit on. Why? Because he's a name, and they all want to be his buddy. I even had some of his sycophant fans threaten me to fight me. And that's the point. Everybody wants to be friends with I'm friends with the big name. That makes me a somebody. So they pull that shit all the time. They name drop or they suck up. I'll give you an example. If I put up a post and I get 15 responses, and the responses are from Jim O'Reilly, Zach Rodriguez, Tom Rapka, Kenny Calderon, and Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld will have 15 people like his comment. And nobody says anything about the other guys. And those guys probably said the same thing. Come on, guys. Come on. Cut the shit. Do you want quality entertainment or do you not? And if you don't, fine. Keep throwing $50 at a titty book that's not going to be worth any money someday. And sometimes those books are, if they're not AI, they're AI enhanced or they're Photoshopped. If that's what you want to spend $50 to $100 on, go for it. I don't care. Do you. But give us guys a shot. Throw a little money this way too. And it doesn't have to be me. It could be an artist like Jim O'Reilly who busts his ass. drawing. Jim does some great artwork. It could be Tom Rapka. Tom creates books. Throw money at him. Try to even the playing field. Quality entertainment needs to have a stronghold, a foothold in this industry, or it's going to fall apart. We can't afford anything anymore. We can't afford an action figure is $25 minimum. This book with this Chris Bachalo, with this David Mack cover, look at how thick that book is. That's my fucking thumb. That's almost 300 pages. Look at the artwork on the inside. I sold this for $55. Some people sell this for $75 or $80. This book, Chris Bachalo, same book with less content, but it's 224 pages. That's my thumb. Look how thick that book is. $35. $35. And I still got to struggle for you to trust that this is worth your dollar, but you'll spend $75 on some metal foil tit book cover that was done in Photoshop. I don't get it anymore. I just don't get it. And maybe I'm losing my mind, and maybe I'm going to lose fans and backers, but I can't stay quiet anymore. I don't understand it. This book, look at the thickness of this book. It's 156 pages. That's my pointer finger. 5 full stories and a 10-page story. I sold it for $25. It's $5 a story, plus 10 pages of content and an interview by Tom Mandrake. And I've got covers from Ben Templesmith and Tom Mandrake, and which are big names in the horror industry. So $25. It's not like I'm trying to rake you over the coals. I didn't limit this to 15 so I could jack it up to $300 on you. I don't do that shit. No gimmicks here, Filbo Publishing. There are no gimmicks at Filbo. Tragedy is not popping out her tits just because Diamond said no. It's not happening. I don't sell porn. I got nothing against a beautiful woman. Nothing at all. I'm married to one. I have 2 kids. I'm all for it. But I don't think comics is where it should be. Comics are supposed to be heroes, compelling stories, epic tales, whether it's fantasy, superhero, or even if it's something out of the ordinary, horror, drama. But there's supposed to be stories with characters we relate to, entertainment that pulls you out of the real world and brings you in there. That's what comics are. You want porn? Buy a fucking Hustler magazine. At least they're real women. I don't get it. And if you're offended by this video, tough shit. Then I wasn't for you anyway. You were never buying my books anyway. I work hard. So do a lot of people out there. There are a lot of artists busting their ass and they can't get a break. Because this industry is also about who you know. It's about who you know. There's a lot of nepotism, whether it's family or close friends. That's a fact. I've seen it myself. Because just so you know, I was an art rep for the last 3 years. I have contacts in Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, all them, and I send portfolios to them. Which brings me to the next topic. Legendary Illustrations is no more, and I am no longer repping. And if you want to know why, it's because I got screwed over for the 5th time, but big time, 3rd time by an artist. And here's the difference between me and someone like Jason Schachter or Doug Peterson or Peters or whatever the hell his name is from Comic Sketch Art. They represent major names that built their own name on their own resume and their own body of work. So those agents are really, they're not finding them work. They're making money off the big name of the person they're with. So like when Jason Schachter puts out a Kickstarter for David Finch, it's not Jason Schachter that's making the money. It's David Finch making the money. Schachter's just getting his percentage. Now, is he putting the page together and everything? Of course he is. And by the way, Jason's a nice guy. I like him. I'm just speaking facts, not bashing. Me, I could have represented some big names, but I didn't want to. I wanted to earn it. So I took guys that were hungry, like Kenny Calderon, like Rod Rodolfo and some other people, Ricardo Silva, and I wanted to help them make them big. The problem with that is this. I'm constantly working hard finding them jobs. getting them jobs, getting them on books, getting them paid, getting them commissions, doing art sales, getting them a fan base. And you know what? I did pretty fucking good. I made some of these guys thousands of dollars. I got them fan bases that they have now that were because of me. And what do? They turn around and they screw me over and they dump me. They steal from me. They steal clients, etc. And they reap the rewards of the hard work I did. So that's why I'm not repping anymore. And I'm really getting tired of the seedy bullshit in this industry. There's some crappy people out there, and it seems like they're the ones that get ahead, and fans believe they're crap and don't believe the good people. Now, am I great? No, I make mistakes. I say stupid shit all the time. I've probably said 15,000 stupid things in this video, but I own it. I own it. At least it's on video. I'm not hiding any DM. It's on video, and I'll keep the video up. I don't regret anything I say, and I say everything knowing full well what I'm saying. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I got to look in the mirror and be okay with who I am. And if you're not, I don't give a fuck. No, Pete, got screwed over. Let me tell you how I got screwed over. I'm not going to name the artist's name. One artist I got on Dynamite. Within 3 months of repping this guy, he had no following. He would be lucky if he got 20 people on there. He can't even draw faces. Okay? I got this dude on Vampirella in 3 months. What's my thank you? He purposely wouldn't tell people I was his rep, so he was getting work behind my back. Clients that I got him work for, he goes behind my back and tells them to pay him directly and cut me out. He steals a cover from me that I was paying top dollar for, and then he badmouths me and says I'm the problem. So why would you? Because I believe in giving people a chance to grow and improve. The same reason why I didn't go rep big names that I'm friends with. I wanted to earn it. I felt if I'm going to get a percentage, I should earn it. I don't want to walk into your fame and make percentage off of your name. I wanted to help you, that person become big and earn my percentage. That's what I wanted to do, and it backfired. I backfired. So that was the first person. The second one, this guy became like family to me. We would video chat for hours, 2 or 3 times a week. We talked about our plans together. This person couldn't crack into the comic world because they're an extremely talented artist, but they were more of a portrait artist. And that's not going to fly in comics. And yet I got them on books. And yet I got them in the comics. I got them commissioners, people buying them. I would do live art sales. They'd walk away making $1,400 just off the live art sale for 2 hours. I made this person money. What's my thank you for that? I get them on a book at $180 a page. They dick around and lead the guy on for 6 months, and they're doing my book, by the way. And they're doing my book, and I understand they work slow. It didn't bother me at all. But what do? After 6 months, without talking to me, they send a message to that poor creator, I'm not doing the book anymore. They led this guy on for 6 months. And by the way, that costs me money and time and makes my company look bad doing that. Did I say anything? No, I didn't. I supported him because he was my friend. And I was just like, all right, I get it. I didn't agree with it, but I wasn't going to make a big stink. And what does he do? He turns on me and he fucking leaves Legendary. And then he betrays me. And then he says, I'm the problem. I'm angry. Yeah, I'm angry because you acted like an asshole. So there's that. Now here's the third person. You ready? This is a person, an artist in Mexico, extremely talented. They were just at my house in September with their brother. I treated them like family. This person got contacted by a publisher that has good financial backing. And they have the license rights to some 70s horror flicks that they're adapting to comics. And this artist is a big horror fan. So this was like a dream job. He was excited. So I didn't technically get him this job, and I told him he could take it and not include me because I didn't get him the job. And he said, no, you're my agent, blah, blah, blah. So fine. He did the right thing. I appreciate that. They were looking for other artists. So I got other artists' books with this publisher as well. One artist drops out. Makes me look bad. The replacement that I get drops out. Makes me look bad. It looks really bad now for my company. Really fucked me up dropping like that. Very unprofessional on both their parts. And they're both people I like, but the truth is it was unprofessional and it was bullshit, and it made me look bad. Did I give them shit? No. Because of that, they decided they weren't going to hire this Mexican artist. They said, you know what? They bashed me. They sent me an email ripping my company apart, ripping me apart, ripping them apart, and said they weren't going to hire this artist. Now, I could have gotten mad and lashed back out, but that's not my job. My job is to get these guys work. My pride doesn't come first. So I sucked it up. And I said, listen, I understand how bad this looks, and I apologize. Believe me. But I would hope that you wouldn't make this artist suffer guilty by association. And I'll tell you what. Give 3 pages of script. Give that person the opportunity to do the 3 pages. If you like the pages, you hire them and you pay them. If you don't like them, there's samples that go in his portfolio. You don't pay him a dime. And I knew that the artist would be fine with this. And the truth is, I knew the artist was going to knock this out of the park. They said, fine. After ripping me apart personally, they went on a personal level. Not only did they wind up loving this guy, not only did he get a 56-page book, not only did they up his page rate for it, for just pencils, to a good page rate in the indie world, they then wanted to hire him on a 3-year contract, semi-exclusive, meaning he would have time to do other stuff, but they take priority. Their book comes first. So I go to tell this dude, good news. They want to hire you for 3 years on several books. You're going to be working steady. And I was hiring him for work. He did work in Diary of Dread. And I think he'd be happy about it. I'm proud. I did my job. I hooked up. I helped my friend. I felt like I did a good thing. What does he say? An agent reached out to me and said they can get me in DC. And he wants to go with them and dump me. But he doesn't have the balls to do it. So he goes, well, what would you do? I said, don't ask me that. Do not ask me that. I'm not you. It's not my life. You're the one who's risking, the chance of DC. You do what you got to do, but just tell me what you got to do so we can move on. So he kept saying, well, what would you do? So I finally said, all right, you really want to know? I wouldn't go with the agent who knows you have an agent and is trying to fucking sneak behind my back because he's showing he has no integrity. I wouldn't trust that son of a bitch. And I would be loyal to the guy who's been loyal to me and has been putting in the work, the legwork, and busting his ass to make you a career. I'd stay loyal and faithful to him, but that's just how I'm built. The guy that just spent hundreds of dollars feeding your ass at my house and missing. And if I don't, I contract myself for work. If I don't work, I don't get paid. I lost and I get paid well at my day job. I do. Just cost $9,000 to live in Long Island. Anyway, a month. So I lost a lot of money by hosting them. Never asked them for a dime. Neither did they offer to pay for anything, but I didn't ask for a dime. So now he wants to leave me. And you know what he says? He goes, but if I get on DC and then I'm doing your books, you can advertise that you have a DC artist on your books. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I need your new ass on DC? Really? I need your new ass on DC? I need your credit? So arrogant. So I told him, you do what you got to do. And he goes to do it. And then I said to him, I want to be clear. I did save your job for that publishing company. You know what this son of a bitch said to me? He goes, oh, come on. You almost cost me that job. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, why'd you have to hire the other guys? You almost cost me that job. I go, it's my job. What? I was only supposed to get you work? Fuck them. I don't get them work. I can't control what they did. I just did my job. I didn't cost you your job. I saved it. And he goes, oh, come on. You cost me the job. So he's gone. And here's the funny part. He misses me. He misses me because that other agent was full of shit, which I knew. But I wasn't going to tell him that because the second he brought that to me, he told me where his loyalties lie. DC, Marvel, fame, fortune is more important to him than loyalty. And I bled for this dude. I bled for all of them. When you come into my inner circle, I treat you like family. I let them in this fucking house. They stayed here and slept here. They didn't pay a dime for anything. You break bread at my home, I'm treating you like family. I got little kids. If I bring you around my kids, I'm showing you the utmost trust because they're the most important things in my life are my little girls and my wife. And that's the reward I get. So I don't rep anymore. So the point of the matter is, there's a lot of bullshit in this industry. And there is no reward for loyalty, integrity, and quality. There isn't. That's the hard facts. And it's not the industry's fault. It's the consumer's fault. It's the fan base's fault. Period. It's the truth. If you look at back here on my wall, where there, that's Jose. There we go. That's Jose. Oh my God, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. All right, how about this? That's Shelby Robertson. Shelby's a phenomenal artist and a great guy. Some people know Shelby. He worked with Extreme Studios. But Shelby has to bust his ass 10 times harder than guys that aren't even as talented as him with art, but for some reason the names blew up. That's because of the consumer. That's why. There are artists that can't draw for shit. They will scream at the anatomy. I'll give you an example. They yell at Rob Liefeld for the Captain America anatomy. Fair enough. It was rough. Rob knows, though. He also was brilliant in his marketing with the Falcon cover. It was brilliant what he did, and I thought it was hilarious, and I give him credit. But you look at Mike Mignola, who can't draw shoulders for shit, and nobody complains about anatomy. I mean, Batman had worse shoulders than me. It was like this. So did Hellboy. I mean, we pick and choose who we come after based on who we want to suck up to. That's the truth. Do you know, I'm a nobody, but do you know there are people that think I'm a somebody just because I'm friends with a lot of big names or because I do a $10,000 campaign? They think I'm more than I am, or I'm successful, or I'm somebody, and they suck up to me. And they think I don't know it. I mean, really? Why? Because I had Steranko and Adam Kubert and everybody at my show, and I know these people? You know? Yeah, he has a stylized technique. I'm not denying that, Pete. I'm not even bad-mouthing his art. I'm just being honest. They'll bash one artist for not having anatomical correctness, and they will praise another one for not having anatomical correctness. It's all bullshit. You ever see the movie Scent of a Woman? It's one of my favorite movies of all time because it deals with integrity and loyalty. Al Pacino is blind, and he's an angry, bitter old guy, and you don't find out till later, but he's going on his last tour of duty, so to speak, through the city with this young college kid supposed to be watching him because he plans on killing himself. Period. He's going to kill himself because he's blind and he's tired and he's old and he doesn't want to live like this anymore. And he gives this speech and he goes, what was it? Give your mother a card on Mother's Day. Fuck over your friend. It's all shit. And yeah, hoo-ah! It's all true. Give your mother a card on Mother's Day. Fuck over your friend. It's all shit. It's true. It's absolutely true. It's all bullshit. It's all name game, celebrity worship, sycophantic nonsense. And that's what it is. And I'm calling it out. And people will be mad about this. And I'll probably get shunned or blacklisted by somebody or canceled. I don't get fucking canceled, so you can try your best. Or whatever. But it's all bullshit. I'll give you another example of bullshit. Tragedy number 2 had Tyler Kirkham on the cover. Tyler's a really nice guy. I get along, I'm not good friends with him, but he'll respond if I talk to him and say, hey, Phil, how you doing? It's not like we go out to dinner or anything, but we're cool. I wake up in the morning one day while the campaign was going, and I had hundreds of messages going, your Comicsgate? Your Comicsgate? And I'm like, what? What are we talking about? And then Chris Sotomayor, who's a friend of mine, and I really love Chris. He's been nothing but fantastic to me. He's the colorist on Tragedy, and he's also Marvel DC colorist. He's worked with all the greats. He's one of the best colorists in the industry. He's top, he's had his issues with Ethan. They don't get along, and I respect that. I stay out of it. I don't know Ethan well, but I'll get into that in a minute. So Chris was concerned. He's like, someone told me that your comics game. Like, what is everybody talking about? So it winds up, Ethan Van Sciver was very kind, and he promoted Tragedy 2 without, I don't know Ethan well. Once in a blue moon, a passing comment at a show or in DM, like anybody else would. So I didn't have a relationship with Ethan. But he promoted the book because he thought it looked good. And I thought that was very kind of him. And I don't care where you stand. You could be Erik Larson, you could be Ethan Van Sciver, both on the extremes. If you promote my book, it's very kind of you to use your name and influence to do that, and I'm thankful. I don't give a fuck about your politics. I'm grateful that you did something nice. But I'm not Comicsgate. So, I DM'd Ethan. I said, thank you, Ethan. I appreciate that. But I was getting a lot of shit from people on the non-Comicsgate side. They call them SJWs, the left, whatever. And then the War Room or whatever the fuck they're called, I don't know because I don't pay attention to this. I really don't. They went after Ethan because I'm on Kickstarter. I'm not loyal because I'm supposed to be on Indiegogo, which is now Crowdfunder, I think. You have to follow these rules, be part of the tribe. Fuck you. It's none of my business. It's stupid. I don't follow anybody. I lead my own path. And they got mad. So I was getting attacked from both sides. And I didn't do anything. And then when I thanked Ethan, oh, that was it. It was nuts. Now, Chris Sotomayor is a nice guy. And I just said, no, he promoted me and it was nice of him. And Chris was cool. There was no issues because Chris was level-headed. He was nice. He's a friend of mine. He knows who I am. He's cool. But other people were nuts. I lost some friends over it. I just recently got attacked and they accused me of being Comicsgate because they looked back in my history and saw that Ethan promoted me. Now, Ethan did something very nice. But here's where I stir up trouble. Not intentionally, I'm just stating the facts. Ethan went on a live stream and mentioned me and decided to speak for me and say what my political beliefs were and that I'm aligned with them and this and that. And that's not right because those weren't my words. Those were his. I didn't say that. And though I do believe that Ethan is right, where they have to stop hiring people that are not qualified to be in comics and writing. They need to stop writing stories to check off diversity boxes and just write good stories. I agree with that. I don't agree with jock tactics. I don't agree with him poking the other side to get a reaction out of them. It has worked for him business-wise, so good for you, but it's not going to work for a little guy like me, and I don't want to piss people off. I want to unite people. Comics are to unite people, and giving people the same shit that they gave you is hate begetting hate. I don't think that works for me. It just doesn't work for me. It's working for him. He's successful. He's got followers that love and adore him. And even though they're still only doing 1,000 on their campaigns, good for you. Your Comicsgate, fine. I got nothing against Comicsgate. I have nothing against that. I don't. I was thankful that he did that. But I didn't think it was right for him to speak for me. I went and made a video to make it clear my tribe is my family. I don't have a tribe other than my family. I bleed and I die for my family and my friends. I do not take left or right sides. If you want to know what I am politically, I'll tell you right now. I'm not right or left because they both suck. I believe in real freedom, which means freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms and protect yourself, common sense, and decency. If your freedoms do not infringe upon mine, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care if you do coke in your house. I don't care if you smoke weed in your house. But if it affects me where my kids are in danger because you're on a road with that shit, or your apartment, the weed's coming over to my house, then I got a problem. If you want to be trans, you do what you want to do. But don't scream at me if I accidentally look at the 6'5" man dressed as a woman and accidentally just out of natural reaction say, sir. Because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to discredit you. It's just natural to see a 6'5" man in drag or not and say, sir. It's just, sorry, we're biologically engineered that way. But if you ask me to call you ma'am, I'll call you ma'am. I may not remember every time, but don't attack me if I forget. That's where you're coming on my freedom of speech. Live your best life. Leave the kids alone. Live your best life as an adult. You chop whatever the fuck you want off. You wear whatever you want. If you want to dress like a woman, do what you want to do. Leave me alone, though. I personally think women deserve respect, and they're not a cosplay. But I don't care if you do what you want to do. But you stay out of the bathroom, my little girl. If a 6'5" man who goes in there, my bathroom, little girl, It's not him that's the threat. It's the guy that's going to use that as the excuse to get in the bathroom that's the threat. And that's the motherfucker I'm going to kill. Sorry, now I'm going to get kicked off of Facebook. I don't really mean kill. I meant kick butt. Not kill. Not kill. Anyway, so that's where I stand. I believe in real freedom. Freedom means assholes will speak. Freedom means when you say something I don't like, I have the right to walk away from it and ignore it. But I'm never going to try to cancel you. I don't go after people. That shit doesn't fly with me. So whether it's Comicsgate or SJW, you guys go at each other all you want. You fight, you bitch, you bite, you claw. You do you. I want to unite people of all political spectrums by just giving you a good story. Because at the end of the day, we may not agree with how we get things done, but all we want is to feel relevant. We want to be happy and safe. We want to raise our children safe. We want to have roofs over our heads, food on a table, and pursue our dreams and be happy. That's all we all want. We may not agree on how to get there. We maybe have some people that are stupid and brainwashed and indoctrinated. But at the end of the day, I'm not vilifying anybody because I think they voted stupid. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll try to educate them. Maybe they need to educate me. But that doesn't make anybody a villain. I'm tired of the fighting. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of the sycophantic behavior. And I'm tired of people complaining about things, but they're part of the problem. And that goes right full circle back to what this is all about. The industry, people complain about the industry constantly. I cannot tell you how many people I hear going, oh, comics today suck. Comics today suck. Comics today suck. Have you given any indies a try? It's easy to bitch and moan about it, but what have you done to change it? Me, I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to write quality stories. Will you give me a shot? Because you're bitching about what Batman is, but you sure as hell won't give Tragedy a try. Why? Because they're not a big name? Well, then you're part of the problem and shut the fuck up. Period. Oh, comics is falling apart. It's dying. It's dying. That's all we're getting is posts about comics are dying. Well, why? Because you'll spend $50 on a tit cover that won't get you money back, but you won't buy an ongoing series that's quality writing. You're the reason it's dying. So shut up. Period. Right now, we're back in the 90s. The 90s had foil covers and prism cards and wraparound covers and fold out and gimmick left and gimmick right and Superman and polybags, and everybody thought, this is my retirement. This is awesome. Comics are worth money. Even though they printed 5 million of these fucking things, I'm going to buy them. I'm going to buy 10 of them, and I'm going to keep them in their polybags, and I'm going to sell them for $500,000 each, and I'm going to retire because you're all idiots. And what happened? The bubble burst. The gimmicks fell and the bubble burst. Even the greats in Image fell. Why? Because the gimmicks only last so long. What saved the industry? Longtime readers. They kept loyally buying. They kept buying because they care about comics and they want to care about stories and these characters, right? Well, flash forward to now. Same shit. All these online retail variants with their limited edition covers and metals and foils and variants and blah, blah, blah. And I am guilty of variants. Why? Because I have to in order to get even looked at. If I could get away with just putting out a good book and it had just a regular old cover, I would. But you consumers don't want that. So, well, not just late books and infighting, it also fell because it was gimmicky. The writing wasn't very good. It was great art, but the writing wasn't very good. So we're about to burst again. The bubble is going to break and it's going to crash again. And old-time readers aren't going to be here to save it. You know who's going to save it? Indies. People who care about comics and writing quality stories. And I'm going to let you know a little secret. Some of those indie books that you look at that the art isn't good and you scoff at, that's because you won't invest any money in it to help them afford a better artist. Build them up. Every industry needs capital. Every industry needs a circulating economy. If you don't circulate an economy in the indie community, how does it grow? Listen, I'm very lucky. Because I ran conventions and I've been collecting art for a long time, I've developed relationships with a lot of big names. Some of them actually breaking bread with. Some of them I don't. I just get along with really well. So I'm very fortunate that most of them, when they do covers, they're good to me. But that's not everybody. And here's a little secret. Some of these big names, it's not even about the money. You think you could just throw money at these people. They won't even pay attention to you. They won't even answer you. Or they won't be interested in doing a cover for you because you're not big. Period. So just the fact that these people will be willing to work with me is huge. And I'm appreciative of that. I am. But you take some guys that might even be in the chat now that are trying to put out a quality book, and they're struggling because they can't get a quality artist, or they can't afford a quality artist, or they're doing their best to afford it, but then the campaign underperforms, and how do they afford to pay for the next book? I mean, you guys want your Kickstarter rewards fast, which means we have to produce the book before the campaign. That means I got to pay out of pocket. So if that campaign doesn't do well, I'm always honest. Diary of Dread, straight up, lost money on it. It did $5,001 or $200 on a campaign. Why couldn't this book do 10 grand? It's big. It's well-written horror. There was a black and white and color version, big name covers, quality indie covers, well worth your money at $25. And it didn't, it looks good to you, but I didn't make the money back on producing the book. It's 5 stories in there that I paid for. Okay? So why? Because I'm not a big name. But if my name had some notoriety to it, this would have done 10,000. It would have done 20,000. And the writing could have been worse than mine. I'll let you know a little secret. It's very possible. I don't know. It's for you to decide. Maybe I'm a better writer than some of the people that you're constantly throwing money at. But you wouldn't know because you don't try. You don't even buy a $6 PDF. You don't. You got to support us. Likes and comments are great, but they're not paying for production. And if I sound like a dick, I'm sorry, but I don't want to lose my pants. I want my kids to eat. I don't want to let my wife down that I'm dumping money into a publishing company and she feels scared every day because of the risk. Now, I've been successful. Tragedy's been making money. It actually, last year and the year before, it made more money than a low-income salary. I did very well. This year, it's been tough. It's been tough. And it's been tough for everybody. Please know that I'm not complaining, oh, woe is me. It's tough for everybody. I get that. But that's the thing, Pete. We're undercharging because we know people won't spend money on our names. Pete, how many times are you at a convention as an artist? Anybody in that audience there? You're a convention goer. You have a table that you just spent $500 on, but the big name got it for free. They're up front. You're back near the fucking bathroom or the closet. So you're not even in the traffic aisle, right? You spend $500 plus $1,000 on a hotel plus $600 on travel, and they didn't pay a dime. They're put up front. So now you're in a hole for $2 grand going to a stupid ass 2-day show, 3-day show. How many people you're selling your comic at $10 and it's 30 pages because your print run is like $3 and change or $4 and change per fucking book because you can't print 20,000, 30,000. How many people come to you and go, oh, this looks good. I'm interested. How much? $10. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have the money. And they put it down. But then you go see them spend $400 on some garbage over there. Right? And we lose money at that show. And we're the ones bleeding for this industry. We're the fucking backbone of this industry. I mean, seriously, that's the truth. If I sound bitter, damn right I am. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Tragedy stands up to any book from Marvel, DC, IDW. I stand by that comment. I said it. And if you don't believe me, prove me wrong. Go buy the fucking book and find out. And then if you decide it isn't, not out of spite because you're just being a dick. If you really read it and you're like, yeah, I don't think it's that good. Okay, I appreciate that you gave it a shot. Thank you very much. Re-gift it to somebody else or give it to somebody you think might like it. But you're not even going to shot. No offense. and maybe this sounds arrogant. I know every creator thinks their book is the fucking best thing since sliced bread, and sometimes it's not. I get it. But this book right here has the manga on the back. It has a David Mack cover. It has two 10-page stories by other publishers that are new people I tried to help. It is 288 pages. It has art. It has story. It has a Chuck Dixon intro. I gave you your money's worth on this book. And this book did $10,300 something on Kickstarter, which I'm grateful for. But a titty book that is a fifth the size of this would do $30,000. Explain that to me. I gave you your money's worth here. I gave you money. You know how much it costs to produce these books? To get these artists? You know what the print run is on this? This book costs $20 to print. Just to print one is $20. And you want to know why we're charging $35 for it or $55. And that doesn't count our production costs and 11% that Kickstarter takes. See, you guys don't understand that. Our prices reflect the fact that we're paying top dollar for shipping and printing. 11% goes to Kickstarter. And hey, sweetie, and shipping the book to you is real expensive now. And then a Gemini is $1.50. And then bubble wrap or bag and board is ridiculous. You're all comic collectors. You see what it costs for bag and boards. We are losing money, but we keep putting them out. Why? Because we love this. Yeah, $2.15 for a 12-page comic. That's crazy. And Carlos has no choice in that matter. But why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep putting it out there even though we're losing money and we're struggling? We get no respect. We get no appreciation. We get people who scoff at us. Oh, it's too much money. Really? I'll tell you why. Because we love this industry, because we care about it, because we're the ones who have the passion for it, because we're not corporate shills. We don't have stockholders and shareholders to bend the knee to. We don't give a shit about agendas. I'm not bowing to a political agenda or a corporate agenda. I just love comics. And I want to give you exactly the magic that I got when I was her age. Because when I was her age, I had a shitty, rough life. Sorry, kiddo. I had a rough life. And comics were my magic gateway. Get me the hell out of here. I didn't do drugs. I didn't drink. I read comics. They did that for me. They gave me that magic.
I like to read.
You love to read.
But I read chapter books.
You read both. You read comics.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of comics.
She's in Dynamics. She's one of the characters.
I'm waiting for... I need to read the other scripts for Tragedy.
Yeah, well, someday. And my point is, what would you rather throw your money at, or what would you rather take a risk on? Would you rather take a risk on the person who absolutely loves the medium and the magic that it brings, or the person that's pushing an agenda or a corporate shill? Who would you rather? I'm glad you brought that up, DM Ray, because I'm going to be totally honest here again. My father has stage 4 cancer, and he has multiple tumors, and, he's fighting a battle at 77 years old. And I didn't have a great relationship with my father growing up. In the last 3 years, I do. I finally have a great relationship with him. I love him, and the past is the past, and we're getting along great, and he's great to my daughters. And now I got to face losing him after I finally have him. And I wrote a book called Papa, which at the time I didn't realize was a tribute to him, but it is. I realized it later it is. And he read the scripts and he loves the story. It's a 5-chapter graphic novel. And everybody who has read it says that it is a wonderful, wonderfully written book. And I'm thankful to those people. DM Ray even reviewed it. And my father asked me, is there any chance I can see this in print, in production, while I'm still here on this earth? And I told him I'll make it happen however I have to. But he doesn't want me going into debt doing it, The problem is it's a 5-chapter graphic novel. And that means at a decent page rate for artists, I have to spend $15,000 to make this book. Do you think for 1 second, if I put this book on Kickstarter, you're all going to spend the money and get me to $15,000 without tits being on the cover? without boobies being on the cover. No, I have no confidence and no faith that you'll all come out and support like that and back that book and get it to 15 grand. And I'm sorry if I'm being a jerk saying that, but I don't have that faith. And no, it's not a marketing scheme. I've been too honest for anything to be a marketing scheme, because if anything, I probably pissed off a lot of backers now. But the problem is I have to find a way to get 15 grand, and I got a family to feed and a mortgage. My mortgage is ridiculous. My taxes are crazy. How am I going to get 15 grand? So I have to sell off published covers. I never wanted to sell any published covers from Tragedy, but I do. But are you going to buy those? I don't know. I don't have faith in that, because I haven't seen any faith from consumers. So many of you wish me well, and I appreciate that, but where are you when I need you to back the book financially? Where are you when I'm bleeding and hemorrhaging money on a book and no one comes to support it? Withered is a great story, and it's nothing like you've read before. And it did $1,900. I lost money on that big time. Dynamics was a wonderful story for all families, Pixar level. Families can enjoy this, adults too. Where were you? It made $3,500. I lost a little bit of there. This was all the beginning of last year. Tragedy has gone from a $13,000 campaign making progress down to 8.5. Where are you? Where are you? I know where you are. You're buying booby books that you think are going to be worth something someday. You're buying slabbed books where CGC is screwing up. You're buying foils and gimmicks. You're buying into the limited to 20 because that's what I decided to print, so that makes it more worth something now. You're buying retail variants from big names, but you're not bothering with us. You're buying shit comics from, I keep cursing. Sorry. You're buying crap comics from DC and Marvel that you don't even like anymore in the hopes that they'll start writing your characters better. They're not. The X-Men are dead. They're dead, figuratively, honey. They haven't been the X-Men in decades, and they're not going to be. They could keep talking about reboots and sucking you guys in, but they're done. They're done. They're never going back to what they were when they were written well. They're not. They're not. They're not even people who know how to write comics.
Oh, speaking of X-Men comics, I want to read that.
Oh, I know. I got the omnibuses you can read. You can start from number 1. You can learn the history of comics, too, with the King.
The King?
Jack King Kirby. First artist on X-Men, and he's a legend, and Stan Lee. Anyway, and yes, Kickstarter is saturated. You're right, it is. But there's a lot of things going on. Kickstarter is saturated with hundreds of campaigns. It's a collector market. It's not a reader market. And we have to charge more. I mean, why would you go to Kickstarter and spend $15 on one book when you could spend $15 on 3 books in distribution in a comic store? But then distribution wants to take 60% and rip you off. And if I go through another publisher, they take another 30 on top of that. I walk away with 10%. What's 10% on a $5 book, guys? Do the math. 50 cents, right? How much do you think it costs to make that book? It's not a sustainable business model. It caters to the elite. And the elite are not doing anything new. The elite are not doing anything fresh. DM Ray has a fantasy book coming out, Ray. It's called Madcaps. It's being published by Filbo Publishing. He made change his mind after this video. It's going to be Kickstarter in April. Are you going to come out and buy it? Because he doesn't have boobs on it. It's just a quality story. Are you going to come out and support it? You should. It's good. And he put his heart and soul into that book for years. This guy has such a passion for doing this. He has a passion for RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons and this comic book. He absolutely is like a kid in a candy store, excited, and I love it. It's part of the reason why I want to work with him, because I love people that understand when those books look behind us. See the boxes? That's the trade paperback. I literally came on after I just got done with my day of work. When those boxes come in, I'm still like a kid at Christmas running, excited. Crowdfunding is not beneficial to us. Distribution is not beneficial to us. Where do we go? The algorithms on social media are burying us. You will give all the attention in the world to a show you hate, but God forbid you give the same attention to an indie book that you love. How does that make sense? I heard more about Rebel Moon, and it was all negative, than I heard about Carlos Rafael's books. God forbid you read one of his books and say, you know what, let's talk about that for a while. Let's create a mainstream buzz about how good his books are. You don't do that. Why? Disney and Netflix and all them, they need the publicity? No, they don't. We do. We do. A kind word about our books does go a long way. So don't get me wrong when I say the likes and comments aren't enough anymore. I'm grateful for them. But there is going to come a point where we can only spend so much money, and we need your help. That's all I mean. We love the comments. We love the shares. We love the reviews. We appreciate it. But you got to create more of a buzz for us, get us to new people. We need the publicity. Where is the, we all talked about the Spawn contest. He's a marketing genius. He knew it would create a buzz. He counted on the people that would be upset about the campaign because they're the ones that create the biggest buzz for him. And then the artists who join create big buzz for him. And he doesn't have to pay anybody for any of this. And he gets you all on his newsletter. It's intelligent, smart business. I do not knock him at all, and he's not doing anything wrong because he's not forcing anybody to do anything. But you guys knocked me when I did a cover contest because I wasn't paying enough. And I don't have his money. You knocked me as a gimmicky ploy, but you defend him. That's where I have issue. That's where I take issue, not with him, with your reaction. You all posted for days last week. It was huge about Spawnuary. But you know what difference it would have made if you could have taken Zach Rodriguez's art and did that for his beautiful paintings that are totally underpriced? It's a darn shame that Zach Rodriguez has to undercharge on his beautiful big canvas paintings that if he had the name Bob Ross would go for thousands. It's the truth. But because his name is Zach Rodriguez, and you may not know him well, he has to undersell his talent in hopes that you'll buy it. Because you won't put your money into him, but you will put it in a big name. Are you a fan of art? Are you a fan of prestige? Or are you a fan of flipping it for value? That's up to you. I mean, ask Pete. Pete joined my contest. He got a published credit because I gave him a copy of his cover, Trade Dress and Virgin, for being part of the contest. If for just being a participant. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to spend that money, but I got shit on. Damn it, I keep cursing. I got crapped on. I got DMs, arrogant DMs from artists telling me how I need to know the industry better, and that's taking advantage of artists. Because I'm not the big name, because it's not as big publicity. I mean, think about it. You do a cover for Tragedy. You see any of these artists promoting their covers other than Steph Wilson? Nope. But you'll see guys, I'm on Batman, and they'll post it big time because they're riding DC's popularity to become popular themselves. I get it. But when you're an indie artist, wouldn't you want to promote the covers you do so people see that you're getting a lot of work and see that there's value in you and want to buy you? But no, you won't. I won't name names, but I have artists that did covers for me. They sure as hell charged more than they probably should have got, and I paid it. I didn't make that money back on their cover, and not once did they promote that cover. Not once. You guys will not put your faith in indie. You keep talking about the indie revolution, the indie renaissance. You're all full of shit. Sorry. You hear me curse.
I like it.
Well, don't repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
You're all full of it. Because you say all these things. You complain about the industry. You say there's an indie revolution, and none of you buy it. I don't want to call anybody out, but there's a guy I know. He's very nice. I get along with him on Facebook. I gave him free PDFs to check out. He loved the books, he said. He loved the writing, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I wish I had the money for it. But every day he's on Rob Liefeld's page buying up every cover that Rob Liefeld has in multiples. Every day. You're full of hits. Come on, man. You're full of it. Now, if you didn't like it, it's okay. Just tell me, or if you were being kind, fine. But don't lie to me and say you just don't have the money and then do that. Lie well. At least lie well. I mean, if you're going to lie and then you think I don't see you on social media, come on, guys. Stop it. Stop it. I gave tech comments right there. Great, your contest was dope. And you made. And that's, I'll give you an example too. When I ran my conventions, Pete Vasquez and Brendan Shaw of Fat Guys Inc. promoted the show for months and constantly. Thank you, by the way. Other people, the day before, oh, I'll be at this show. They didn't help promote the show. And then they go, thankfully they all make money at my shows, but if the attendance was bad or they didn't do well, they blame me in the show. It's like, well, yes, it's my job to promote, but you got to promote your own appearance and get your own people to know you're there. I mean, really? You going to bed? I love you. Sleep well, sweet dreams. God bless, little bear. I'll see you in the morning, okay? Sleep well. Good night. Hey, you're off camera. Sleep well. Oh, sweet dreams. God bless. I love you, noses. I love you, kitten. Good night. Anyway, Guido Martinez. I published his book now, Night. Night, we had the trade paperback. It was issues 1 through 4. It didn't do bad. It funded. But the book was it definitely deserved a better output. It did. Guido works hard on that book. He works very passionate about it. He cares. Quality art, quality writing, quality lettering, and he loves the story. He cares about storytelling, and there's no agenda in the book. Hence why Filbo Publishing is publishing it. Issue 5 is coming out after Fumigator. Will you guys be there? Will you be there to back it? I hope so. Guido's a good guy. He works hard, and he's passionate. Everybody that I publish is passionate about comics. That's one of my criteria. Obviously, it has to be a good book. It has to be. But the criteria is you have to be passionate about comics and no agenda. It just has to be entertaining stories. Books, these stories are supposed to be escapism. If I want to be dragged into the real world, I'll go watch the news and want to, Anyway, that's the truth. That's the truth. Entertain. And Guido Martinez's book, Night, it entertains. Fumigator is coming out. It's a good book. And Alejandro Rojas and his wife, they're working hard on this. This is their dream. They come from communist Cuba, or Cuba as Americans say. He can't do this. He can't live this dream there. So he's publishing through us, and we've got covers. We've got the story. It's a sci-fi adventure tale. It's fun. And it's if you hate your day job, you'll love this book because this guy hates his job. But his job is dangerous. He has to clean out nanobot infections that cause people to turn into cyborgs. Look at this. There's the machine world. And he's an older dude who's disgruntled and tired. It's a dystopian Cuba, the future Cuba. And then you've got cyborgs, that they change them into cyborgs, and there's fighting and there's action. And there you go. And we got other stuff coming from Filbo. Like I said, Night. I mean, look at the artwork. Light Warriors is coming. Apollo. This isn't even my stuff. This is everybody else's. And I haven't even gotten into Mad Caps. Mad Caps, we're going to be putting the page together soon. We care about comics. We're passionate. We're not looking for money grabs. We're not looking to just put in minimal effort into a cover or ride somebody's name. We're not looking to throw an agenda at you. We're not looking to preach at you. We're not looking to swindle you. We just want to entertain you with good books. And I'll give you an example. We had 25 people in this room. The second I popped up this Kickstarter, 5 people dropped out. Shame on you. 30 seconds to just check out a book and see if it's worth it. What if it is? What if it's a book you like? Now you'll come out and listen to the train wreck that I'm throwing at you. You want to see me angry and bitching and moaning. That you guys will stick around for. But when I promote Alejandro's book and his dream, nope, gotta go. No time. I'm going to go watch She-Hulk, one of the crappiest shows ever made. And I will never agree otherwise. And it's the truth. And yeah, you got the sign up page for Night in there. I post constantly. You can sign up for everything. When is Tragedy 6 coming out? It's funny that you asked that because that's really what this was about. It was supposed to be going to distribution, and it's not going to be now. So I have to figure out where I can put this in. I'll tell you why. There's 300 Kickstarter campaigns. People could buy multiple campaigns, but God forbid I put 2 campaigns up at once. Everybody's telling me, don't do it, don't do it. You'll never blah, blah, blah. Well, what am I supposed to do? If I want to put more books out and I can only do 1 a month, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Where do I fit Tragedy 6 in here and still publish all these other guys? And I still have Arcane Syndicate. I still have Displaced. I still have Diary of Dread Volume 2. I have Dynamics 2, Withered 2. I have a ton of stuff I want to do. Where do I fit this all in? And then we're going to have Night 6, and we're going to have Madcaps 2. And so, well, technically you have 2 accounts. But anyway, I mean, you can't win either way. Distribution won't take you, and if they do, they're robbing you blind, or Kickstarter doesn't want to pay attention to you, or you can't do more than 1 Kickstarter at a time, or, you know, it's like everything is stacked against us, and we're not supposed to be frustrated. If we do, people say, oh, stop crying and whining. Or guys that are making a ton of money because they sell titty books are going to tell you to stop crying and whining and just put the work in. Stop the bullshit. Put the work in. If I pulled out Tragedies, I had Mike DeBalfo do a cover. I asked him to tone it down, and it sold well. If I asked Mike DeBalfo, if I paid him to do a cover and pop her boobs out, I'd have a $20,000 Tragedy campaign. Easy. Easy. But I won't do it because that's not putting in the hard work. That's not hard work. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's not hard work. Anybody can throw a sex out there. Everybody knows sex sells. That's the easy part. The hard part is telling a good story and getting people to trust you to buy it and read it. That's the hard part. That's where the blood, sweat, and tears and the bullshit comes in. Marketing yourself and being taken serious as a publisher. That's where it is. That's where the blood, sweat, and tears is. That's where it is. And that's the facts. And anybody who thinks otherwise, you're either the one selling the movie books or you're full of shit. Sorry, but that's the truth. And just for the record, I'm going to reiterate, if you sell booby books, I have nothing against you. You found your demographic. You can make that money. If you're doing it with integrity, not hurting anybody, you go for it. But why isn't there a fan base for readers? I'm not hating on booby books. I'm frustrated with the fan base that will throw all this money at cartoon porn, but they will not buy quality stories. Yeah, maybe you should put boobs on your mountain, Zach. Exactly. Or throw a naked woman here and there, like a little Easter egg, and see if they can, like, where's Waldo? It'll be where's Horo? You know, the whore or something. I don't know. I mean, honestly, if you guys want better, if you're going to complain about the industry, then be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Start backing. I mean, let's be realistic about this too. You talk about you don't have the money. No, you have the money. You just don't want to spend the money. A $10 book on Kickstarter, you can't spend $10 a month on that. You spend $600 in cigarettes, God knows how much on weed, how much at the bar every weekend, and you spend tons of money on junk food or movies that didn't even entertain you, but you can't take a chance, $10 on a book. Now, no, it's not my right to tell you how to spend your money. You spend it how you want. But if you're going to tell me you don't have $10 or $15 for a book, I'm going to tell you you're full of shit. The truth is you have it. You just don't want to spend it on that. And why don't you want to spend it on that? That's the question. Because you don't know who I am? Because you don't know who Tom Rapka is? Because you don't know who because Jim O'Reilly, as nice as his art looks, you can't flip it for $5,000? That's why? They all have big names and people you've probably never heard of on them. Because art is art to me. I love David Finch's work, so I got David Finch because I love his work, not because of his name. I'm not going to flip it. But I also, do you guys know Kreese Hyung-Sung Lee? He's working on Marvel and DC now. I knew him when people didn't know who he was. I have art from him from when he was struggling to try to sell his art, and he was underselling his art. And now he's doing great for himself, and I'm happy for him. But he's on these jams before he was big. There are local people. Chris Madd is on these jams, and Chris Madd is an extremely talented artist. There's people all over these. Jose Varese, that's his name, is on there. It's about the art. Yeah, but again, pushing a subscription service like Marvel or DC, the work it takes to do that, and people aren't going to do it. If they're not going to go to a Kickstarter, if they're not going to go to my website, which is easily available, they're not going to go to a subscription service because they're not going to go. They're not going to spend their money on a nobody. Yeah, they are. And his daughter's great colorist, Shawn Ahmad. She's a very excellent colorist. Yeah, Pete, because he's local. We all knew him. The fact of the matter, if you buy me out, I'll flip it for you right off the table. That's just the truth. People follow and worship celebrity. I mean, how do you explain some of these celebrities who have no talent in any industry, can't sing, can't dance, dress like weirdos? I mean, here's an example. When the best song in the country a couple of years ago is Wet Ass Pussy, don't tell me that we want quality entertainment. Don't tell me that, because that's some bullshit. I know it's a hustle in Diamond. I know, but at least your hustle is going to reach more people. I'll give you an example. A crappy first print run in Diamond is 800 to 1,500 people. You're going to get that on Kickstarter if you're not a big name? No, you're not. Most people can't even crack 300. You'll make money on Kickstarter more likely than you will in distribution in the beginning. But in distribution, especially with an ongoing series, you can build momentum and start getting getting all over the country and building your fan base to where maybe I get to 10,000 people after a year or two, and then you start making some money. I was prepared to weather the storm. I was prepared to lose money. I was hoping for an 800 to 1,500 print run coming out of the gate. Now, Niall, it's not my business to tell you numbers, but you had great numbers, and I was very happy for you, and it gave me hope that maybe I can do that. But alas, it's not in the cards. But we have a lot of Kickstarters coming out this year that I want to show you, and I hope you come out and you support them. And please don't give me this, well, it's every month, it's tough. You can't afford $10 a month. That's not even a subscription to a stupid streaming service that you don't even like what's on there. I think you can. I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. It's your right. But just be honest about it. Yeah, I'm not interested in spending money on that. I don't want to support you. Okay, no problem. Wish you the best. Not mad at you. No bitterness. But don't lie to me. Don't give me excuses. Because you know what? It's insulting. Guido Martinez works very hard at making Night a quality book. Okay? Alejandro works really hard at his dream to make Fumigator a reality. And there is the human element. It's crushing to see your campaign struggle or not make it. It's crushing. It hurts people. It's really emotionally tough. They get depressed. They get down because it shouldn't be this hard. You'd think with social media it'd be easy, but everybody's stacked against you. Social media rewards the people that already get a lot of feedback and a lot of interaction, and they stifle the ones that need it. And that Kickstarter, in the algorithm, they'll put up the big name campaigns up front, but they won't put the little ones. And you may say, well, it's because the big names make money and make them money. Okay, but let me ask you this. They're going to make that money whether Kickstarter bumps them up in the feed or not. That's guaranteed money for Kickstarter's percentage, right? 11% on $420,000. Me, 11% on 10 grand isn't much. But what if you bump me up an algorithm and you helped me become a $20,000 or $30,000 campaign? And then I'm now in the category of I'm a guaranteed $30,000 every month that you get a profit off of. It just makes sense to me. Why would you keep this one's a guaranteed. Brian Pulido is a guaranteed success. He worked hard for 30 years. She's a well-known character. He's going to do his $200,000 to $400,000 campaigns. He earned it. But it's a guaranteed. He's always going to make that money because people love him. He's got the product they want. He's well known. He's been out there for 30 years. Boom. But Kickstarter keeps putting him up in the algorithm, and they bury me. Build me up to that area, so now you have two people up there. Doesn't that make sense? You make more money that way. It doesn't cost them to bump me up in the algorithm, or anybody else for that matter, right? Projects we love. I don't know. Maybe that used to mean something. It don't mean shit now. How many people get a project we love and it didn't boost anything? It doesn't boost anything. And you're right, Paul. You're right. But again, 11% on $6 grand or 11% on 120 grand. It wouldn't be hard for them to just bump you up in the algorithm. And you're right, Pete. And that's all the more reason that's how you grow your audience. Casual fans that are looking for something new. We're something new. That's exactly tailor-made for us. That would be the point. You know? I mean, I don't know. I actually didn't mean for it to become this bitch fest, but I guess I'm just letting out a bunch of frustration I felt for a long time. This isn't, oh, I should be big and it's your fault I'm not big and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. I should be whatever I'm going to be. What I'm saying is it's not a level playing field. We don't even have a chance. Because a lot of us, if we got out in front of enough eyes, it would do well. But we can't get out in the front of the eyes. That's my point. Cheaper than therapy claim we could help. That's my point. I mean, it's just about a fair shake. Let the market decide, but make it a fair shake. If you're going to spend all your money on a booby book and then you have no money that you don't want to give us a shot, it's not a fair shake. You might like what you read. You might like, Pete Vasquez's art or Guido Martinez's writing or Paul Gomez's books. You don't know until you try. And if you don't, okay, you move on. What was a $6 PDF to you? You've thrown away worse money than that. I mean, if you buy gum these days, those big Mentos gums, they're $5 for crying out loud. And that you just chew and spit out. At least a comic book you have forever. Good night, guys. Thanks for coming out and listening to me, bitch. Anyway, so I went over a few things. I'm just going to leave it at this. Diary of Dread is at the printer. It's 156 page, 5 full-length horror stories and a 10-page horror story preview by Charles Santino, who wrote Conan for Marvel in the late 80s, early 90s. This is going to be, it's at the printer. I should get the proof, not the proof, this is the proof. I should get the print run next week, and I will fulfill it. If you're interested in this, though, DM me. It's $25. Again, 5.5 issues, basically, or 5 1/3 issues. 156 pages with an interview by Tom Mandrake. We have different covers, and you can be part of the fulfillment. If you pay, I'll ship you out with fulfillment. So there's that. Then there is the Tragedy trade paperback, which just arrived Saturday. Look at this bad boy. So we have a David Mack cover on a 228-page book that has a manga on the back. So basically, you read the book the Western style, and then you get to the back, and you read it back the other way, the Japanese professional style. Okay? So we have a David Mack who created Echo, which is a TV show right now. David's a really great guy. He's one of the nicest guys in the industry. David Mack, almost 300 pages. DM me if you're interested. Chris Bachalo, we all know who he is. This is the 224-page volume. Okay. That's available. We're going to fulfill this Wednesday. You can jump on and be part of it. Bill Sienkiewicz with Alex Sinclair colors. That's the 224-page. And we have a few left of the very rare, because they're expensive to make, glow-in-the-dark Bill Sienkiewicz cover. And, man, they glow bright. These are $50 to print, just so you know, $51. So I only printed a few for that reason. They're available. If you want the manga separate, we've got issue 1. We've got the Ava Schrager and the Kenny Calderon covers. We've got those. I have a bunch of other books too. We've got plenty of stuff to sell. www.philboentertainment.com. Where did I get Philbo from? I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I have big hairy feet, hobbit feet, so my wife calls me Philbo. And because my family is everything to me, I include them in everything I do. So I named my business after my wife's nickname for me. That's where I got it from. All right. I realize I went off. I realize I vented a lot of frustration. I realize that I bitched and moaned. I realize this will turn off a lot of people. I also realize I don't care. I'm honest. If I was Charles Barkley, you would love my honesty. But I'm not Charles Barkley, so you don't like my honesty. That's your problem, not mine. I like me. I'm going to be me. And I'm going to keep pushing books even if it's selling to 5 people. because I believe in what I'm doing. Thanks, Leon. I really appreciate you signing up for Fumigator. Thank you. Oh, one last thing. Artist editions. You know how IDW does artist editions? I have a tragedy one. And it has Ricardo's sequentials without letters, books 1 through 5, 150 pages, and a bunch of covers from Ian Churchill. And scanned at 11 by 17. This is 11 by 17 hardcover book with all that art. If you can't afford original art, this is the next best thing because they're scanned just like the IDW artist editions. And it's a beautiful book, and it's going to go to Kickstarter soon. It's at the printer right now in China. And the proceeds are going to go to Papa. Sorry if I vented hard, but nothing I said was wrong or false. Anyway, I appreciate those who do stick by me. I appreciate those who do support me. I'm a one-man show. I do this all myself. I don't mean the art and stuff. I mean running this business, marketing, promoting, printing, art direction, editing, writing, character designs. I have to give them to the artists, directing, managing all the different disciplines. I do it all myself, and it's hard, and I'm managing a lot. It's a lot. Support Niall O'Rourke. He's got his books right now, and they are in Diamond. Go to your retailers, go to your LCS, and tell them you want to order his books through KeenSpot. You got Squish and Squash, which is a family kids book, and you've got The Crying Boy, which is a horror book. Go support Niall. Tom Rapka has his own indie books that he's been crowdfunding. Go support him. He's also a colorist and an inker. If you're looking to hire anyone, he's affordable and he's available. Go check out Tom Rapka. If Leon's got anything going on, you can put it in the chat. Pete's an artist. Go check out Pete's work if you're interested. Get sketch covers, etc. See him at the next show. The indie art show is coming up. And support guys like Jim O'Reilly and Zach Rodriguez, who are very talented artists, and check them out. And DM Ray, Madcaps. If you like role-playing, Dungeons & Dragons, role-playing games, and if you like fantasy, you're going to want to check out this campaign. It's going to be published by Filbo Publishing. It's coming out in April. We have a lot. Fumigator coming out in January, next week, next Tuesday. Night issue 5 coming out into February. March might be Tragedy 6 at this point, as Light Warriors is being moved back. April is going to be Madcaps. May is going to possibly be Light Warriors. June is probably going to be Apollo. We're going into Night issue 6. We're going into Tragedy issue 7. We're going to Arcane Syndicate number 1, Diary of Dread volume 2, and we're going into Displaced issue 1. And I'll tell you more about those at another day because I already shot my mouth off for almost 2 hours. Guys, please support us all. We work hard. Give us a shot. We work harder than most people. Give us our chance to get our break. Because hindsight can be a bitch. Imagine you knew what Todd McFarlane was going to be before he was. Give us a shot. We won't let you down. And you'll have less of these ranting videos if you start promoting and supporting. Seriously, there's a lot of talented people that are not getting noticed, and it's a shame. It's a real damn shame. I'm going to leave you with what I leave you with. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.